Hello and welcome to Backstage with Gig Performer. My name is Brett Pontecorvo, and we are here every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking with folks who are using Gig Performer to power their live performances. We interview keyboard players, guitar players, front of house engineers, and the like, folks who are kind of crossing all sorts of different mediums, and some people who are even doing multiple things simultaneously. So if you're here and you are excited to learn more about how people are using Gig Performer to truly own the stage, do hit the like button. We're so thankful for you. And make sure as you're coming in, you say hello and let us know where you are tuning in from. Looks like we've already got Peter from Germany. Thanks for being with us, Peter. Got Malcolm from near Oxford, UK. And Oscar from Norway as well. Thank you all for being with us today. Oh, we got one more. Germany showing up today. Hello, GP World. Greetings from Germany. I love it. Well, today we have a really exciting episode. If you haven't been on the Gig Performer forums, we are always recommending that you join them, not because it's just the largest and most accurate repository of all things Gig Performer, but also because there are people there who really know a good amount about how to use Gig Performer the best with real world experiences. And today's guest, Triple B, or Alexander Peter, is no exception to this. As a matter of fact, he has created so many fantastic resources that are freely available in the Gig Performer community, sharing his work and showing his work. And today, he's going to share with us how he moved from a 2 hardware keyboard setup to a hybrid rig to a fully software-based live performance platform. And I know this is particularly important for many people who are considering making the switch. Is it possible? Does it work? Yes, it is. And yes, it does. And as a matter of fact, it comes with many other advantages, as we're going to hear all about in today's stream. So without further ado, I want to welcome to Backstage with Gig Performer special guest, Alexander Peter. Alexander, welcome to Backstage.
Hi, Brett.
It's good to have you, man. It's good to have you.
Yes.
So you're Triple B on the forum. So if folks who are watching and they're on the forums, we know who you are now, face to face.
Exactly.
Before we jump into all of the details of everything, can you just share a little bit about who you are and what you do and how you ended up doing what you're doing with Gig Performer musically?
Yeah, of course. So
Awesome.
when starting in the early beginning, so it started in the south of Germany when I was 6 years old. I started with an accordion, an electronic organ.
Oh, cool.
And then we had this great 80 years episode. So it started with synthesizers, of course. Poly 61 workstations like Korg M1, TS10 from Ensoniq.
Yep.
And I learned a lot in this time. And I've always been striving for compact rig, how I could do cover music. We made own music. And yeah, doing part-time of my life with music. I've always been interested in music and as a keyboardist and a bad singer, by the way. And yeah, it's all about fun, all about making other people's fun, because that's what we share. We share our lives together. So
Yeah. Wow.
fine.
Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
fascinated when folks come on and say, I started playing keyboard with, and a lot of times I find the answer is organ or what did you just, or accordion.
Accordion, yes.
And it almost just seems like there's almost more of a connection between playing live keyboards and organ or accordion than learning the
Yeah.
piano.
Definitely.
Which is
So
Go ahead.
this was one of my main challenges, to move from the organ to piano, because learning about velocity and action of keys and stuff like this, and also handling a beast like an old Fender Rhodes, this
Yep.
was challenging in this time.
Yep. Yeah, it is its own unique thing. As I always grew up playing actual piano, and the switch to keyboard became hard because all of a sudden my hands had to have less of an opinion. Like sometimes I was like doing like lead stuff in my left hand because it just had to be that way, and I remember being like, this is really weird. But if you're coming up on organ, they're doing stuff like that all the time. You're also an engineer though, What do you engineer?
Yes, I'm an electrical engineer,
Okay.
and I'm also working actually in hardware development, or
Okay.
meanwhile in test tools development at a German manufacturer here on this side. In the past, I also did guitar amplifiers or PA systems, so
Wow.
I've always been part of the music industry at a certain level.
Wow.
Um, I had to decide 20, 30 years ago, going the engineering way or going the musician way. So I think the musician way was not the convenient one for me, and I'm not that talented and that perfect guy. So I said, the engineering way is the safe way.
Sure.
I can contribute this way, and so I became a part-time musician. Yeah, playing always as a after work or as a hobbyist at the end of the day, but with a professional approach, so semi-professional approach.
Yeah. Yeah. And as we'll all hear in a second, it sounds so good. It just sounds so good. Okay. So you came up with synthesizers and all of that stuff,
Yes,
and you eventually landed on a double rack hardware setup.
yes.
Um, what two keyboards were you using, and why did you choose them?
So I ended at the beginning of 2000 with a Kurzweil
Okay.
PC-88,
Mm-hmm.
just an 88 key piano action.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I think I still have it, a Korg Tritone,
Okay. Yep.
just to have two keypads, to
Mm-hmm.
have more piano action,
Mm-hmm.
and to have a synth action, or to play organ or synth solos or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And um, this was it.
Okay.
So I learned a lot about what to do in MIDI, what are the limitations of the system. Then I had a little break, so I was relocating to the north of Germany. I was not doing music at all. And I think I restarted in 2017 or 18
Okay.
and discovered a lot of things has happened. So of course I know
Right.
because of my job, there are a lot of things happening. There's a lot of evolution. There's a lot of invention.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a completely new world. So I ended with systems like Windows computers. In that time, Logic was under the hood of Imagic, the former company. Now it's an Apple product, yes.
Yes. Yep. I remember that.
Um, this was my first contact to VST instruments.
Okay.
I said, at a certain point, somewhere in the future, maybe this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, from the guitar developments we did in this time, we also made some prototyping using VST
Mm-hmm.
blocks
Mm-hmm.
to have distortion or to have a wah-wah or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had this 10 years break, and a friend of mine said, hey, come over, we are doing a gig together. I have a special event here. And I said, hey, we are 200 kilometers away. How do we do rehearsals? I said, you have an iPad? Yeah, I have an iPad. Okay, so he sent me over some files. We use GarageBand to do the rehearsals and said, oh,
Mm-hmm.
something has changed.
Yes.
And this was the point when I restarted looking for a band
Mm-hmm.
to do some covers. I had a classic rock project in that time. I started with my old setup. Of course, I discovered, okay, the PC-88 is a little bit outdated.
Mm-hmm.
The action has gone. So this is exactly why I have still another Kurzweil today, the 14.
Mm-hmm.
I still use it and just had a Tritone. And again, I ran into limitations because the approach was new to have a better quality. I have seen there are a lot of VSTs, there are other instruments doing the job better.
Mm-hmm.
And as everybody were then moving from a Windows PC to Mac at this time, also in parallel, I said, Logic, I know Logic because I used it in the Windows world. I
Mm-hmm.
even was able to import old Windows projects to the Apple side.
Wow. Wow.
And then I think you already know it.
Yep.
There was main stage, of
Yes.
course. I said, "Ooh, this is cool. There's something completely without tracks, without a DAW. You can do things like you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was not quite stable. And so I don't know. It came from a German forum, I think, Musikerwort or something like this. Hey, take a look at the gig performer. And so I started in 2020, 2021
Okay.
to dive deeper into the computer-based music approach.
Wow. So
Mhm.
you had such a journey.
Yeah.
You had such a journey. And when you're working with hardware keyboards,
Yeah.
there are a lot of limitations, but I would have to assume one of the biggest limitations you run into is the amount of voices you have access to. Is that correct?
This was not the main challenge.
Okay.
It was more about the quality and how to set splits, layers, and stuff like that. Because on one song you like more the instruments from the Kurzweil, on one song you like more the strings from the tritone,
Mm.
and you had at this time I think too much hardware limitations or controllers running in the wild, and
Mm-hmm.
so you had always disturbance. And this was exactly the point when I started. Okay, so okay, let's start with a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Mm-hmm.
don't trust it at all at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this was right because Mainstage was not very stable at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I had problems. I made this move to Gig Performer,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I had a hybrid rack a long time
Mm-hmm.
where I used sounds out of the Kurzweil, added my first pure MIDI controller,
Mm-hmm.
and evolved what I
Mm-hmm.
was doing.
Yeah.
And
So when you went hybrid, at
yeah,
that point, was your setup Gig Performer controlling your hardware, or was your hardware controlling Gig Performer?
first it was the hardware was controlling Gig Performer.
Okay.
So I started, I said, okay, the Kurzweil is quite flexible on the MIDI side.
Mm-hmm.
If I change a patch on the Kurzweil, Gig Performer follows. Mainstage was the same.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, I said, okay, well, I need some lead sheets or something like this. I added an iPad to this as well. So I did first contact with OnSong because the singer in this band had OnSong. Said, oh, that's also cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just use OnSong to build set lists and to control the Kurzweil and Gig Performer in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's changed over the time at the end of the day.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
meanwhile, this is also a little bit different, but I was controlling with the iPad the hardware part and the Gig Performer part.
Got it. Yeah, so much can be done with just some simple program change messages.
Yes,
It's really
exactly.
wild. Okay. And what made you finally say I'm just jumping into full software mode?
Well, so also over the time, of course, I'm a little bit of a collector of plugins,
Okay.
as every keyboard player. So, of course, in the beginning, you had not all sounds you needed.
Sure.
But then there came an Arturia collection, there came a Core collection, and we have seen Cherry Audio.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of free stuff, which is also worth to have a look at.
Mm-hmm.
You need some basic effects, and then you are at a certain point say, why do I need the internal sounds at all? So I need to route them through a mixer or through a sound card input. I need to mix this up that I have something like one single system. And when changing the band project last year or the year before, preparing this, I said, okay, then I will not use any Kurzweil sound anymore, even if they are good, they are excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But this gives me more flexibility. So I just use a control patch in the Kurzweil,
Mm-hmm.
just feeding Gig Performer and let Gig Performer do the other stuff.
Wow. Wow. That's really cool. I
Mhm.
love that. That's awesome. Okay, we have so many things I want to talk about. But I do want to mention you wrote an article in the
Yes,
forum about using OnSong. Is that
yes.
correct? So
This,
folks who
this,
are
this was
watching,
the start.
say that again.
Yeah. Sorry, this was the start or the beginning of contributing. So there was already a band helper article available,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's always if you don't spend too much time on learning about a product, you need some hooks or some help how to get started. So I took this band helper article, said okay, I think something similar should be available for the OnSong side because there was nothing available. And then I said, okay, then I'll take some screenshot because I'm already doing it. And I also learned doing some screenshots and taking some notes will help you 10 years later also again to set something up again.
You're not wrong.
So that's not wrong to do a documentation. That's the
Yes.
engineering side in me then. So
Yes.
if you document, then you have it available. And so I made this guest article. I think it was also in 2021 or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the beginning.
Yes.
And I already was a member of the Gig Performer community at this time. I ask a lot of questions. I get so many feedback, and of course, there are new users. You want to give something back, And so this thing started.
Yep.
So every time I picked up an idea or I saw something, I made my own idea out of this, and why use it still for me alone? Share it. That's the idea behind.
Yep.
This can improve the complete ecosystem in this case for all. And I think some ideas, meanwhile, are also little details also of Gig Performer itself, or made a different look on it, and this was great.
Yeah.
This makes fun.
Yep. Yep. And it is, I think, for folks who haven't joined the community, I do think you'll find that what Alex has just shared here is actually that's the culture of the community, is very much like post, share, publish, iterate.
Yes.
You'll even find people recreating other people's work, going deeper with an idea that somebody started,
Yeah.
and it's really fun. It's really fun to watch. Okay, let's. Alex, do you want to start by just talking about the Gig Performer rig, or do you want to talk about your hardware first, like, and how everything's
That's a
connected?
good question.
Let's do the hardware. Can you share your screen?
Let's do the hardware first. I think this is, yeah, I think you can just share the two boards or something like this. The overhead cam.
Oh, got it. Overhead cam.
Yes.
Here we go.
The overhead cam.
Boom. There it is.
So it's quite simple. So I have this Kurzweil on 40 SE as my main controller. I have an Arturia Keylab 61, an MK2. They are both USB connected to a MacBook Pro running Gig Performer, and that's mainly it. So I use an Focusrite 8i6 as a sound card. So the Kurzweil outputs coming from the hybrid side are feeding into the inputs of the Focusrite, and Gig Performer is doing a mix then at the end of the day of the physical outputs of the Kurzweil, and yeah, all the plugins I use, and so I can provide a stereo, or meanwhile provide 4-channel outputs for front of house to make it easier for the mixer to balance some stuff I have not balanced very well. And that's it.
That's awesome.
Quite simple foot pedal setup. So I have just an expression pedal, I have a sustain pedal, and then I have 2 switches. One switch is freely programmable, either for Leslie speed or for changing a pitch within one song. And the other one, that's also something we can talk later about. I used to cycle through my song list then at the end of the day. With some special functions then, where I can repeat or jump back to the beginning of a song, or just jump from the middle of a song to the next song with some long key presses, and that's it.
Got it.
It's quite simple.
For folks who, this is just me totally geeking out. Are you able to twist your camera so folks can see what you did to the volume sliders of your Arturia?
Yeah, okay, for the geeks. Not only for them. Wrong screw. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I didn't give you a heads up on this one. I just thought this was very clever.
Yeah, so other way around, so this way. So
yes. Yeah. So you want a drawbars?
I want the drawbars. So this was also a decision to use the Arturia, because this is one of the boards with 9 faders and not only with 8.
Yep.
And so I just changed the caps. So
yep.
And that's a simple modification. You can pick them up on eBay or somewhere else and change the caps and done.
Yep. We'll come back to the Arturia because you've done a lot of exceptional stuff there.
I have the camera in hand, so
good.
We talked about the foot switch. That's
perfect.
It all. So
yep.
Expression pedal, sustain pedal, and the 2 switches.
And have you fastened those all to that the pads you've got there? Are they Velcroed?
That's a wooden board, a flat one.
Got it.
Just black painted. Some Velcro tape, some zip ties, and one cable. And just going to the Kurzweil, providing support or inputs for all of these.
Awesome.
That's all.
Awesome. And then, do you have your rack as well? Yeah, awesome.
I don't have the rack here because it's in the rehearsal room, but it's nearly the same. So here I use a small Allen Heath analog mixer, just to feed the output of the. We have it here.
Oh yeah,
that's the Focusrite here. that's just going to the analog mixer with all the 4 outputs where I do a stereo sum at home.
Okay.
Because I do not do this here 4 channel setup, so I have the same conditions as in the rehearsal room, and just feeding an old hi-fi amplifier and this good old trusty Tenor
Yep.
speakers. So just have them. Normally in my main workstation I use Neumann KH80s.
Yep.
They are brilliant. So
Yep. Yep. This is
so
awesome. Okay, cool. So this is the hardware, and let's
yes,
jump over into your gig performer setup, and just maybe we'll do
yes.
like a high level overview. It can explain what's going on, and then we can go deeper. And I also want to talk about your pre-rehearsal workflow as well. But go ahead and show us what you
Yeah.
got happening.
Okay, so let's start with, where am I so wrong? Let's start in the global rack space,
Okay, what's a global
because this
rack
is
space for folks who don't know?
so a global rack space is the backbone of Gig Performer. So this rack space is always available. I think it's the perfect place to route physical inputs to physical outputs on the audio side, and where you do your main processing. The next level on Gig Performer is to have rack spaces where you can make collections of VST instruments and effects supporting a song. And a song is the thing you usually use in your set list, where you can switch between rack spaces depending on the song structure or on the song itself. And you only have to do the audio wiring in the main processing once. So from a high level view, rack spaces feeding an internal bus like a mixing console. Then you have your global rack space doing the main thing, and then providing support for the inputs and outputs.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, this
So
one looks
what
a
are we looking at?
little bit weird at the moment. What I said, so this gray block here, these
Yep.
are all the inputs coming from my rack.
Yep.
I only use 2 stereo buses feeding into the rack because I have 2 main outputs, we'll see later. And these additional ones are for sound check. That's a special rack space or rack I have. Then we have the physical inputs from the Scarlett 8i6. So the inputs 1 and 2. What are 1 and 2? These are the inputs, the front inputs of the sound card, yes.
Yep.
So I use on input 1, I use a microphone for vocoder, which I can feed directly to the rack space back and insert a vocoder plugin.
Nice.
3 and 4 are is the main out of the Forte. So if I want to go back to hybrid again, I don't think so, but it's still there.
Yep.
And 5 and 6, that's an auxiliary input, so I can attach a media player or CD player or something like this. Because I have a dedicated input on this on my rehearsal rack, and can also mix this to the main architecture.
Got it.
And one special thing on the Scarlett has loopback input. So if you want to feed sounds from the Mac, like music player or Songmaster, you can go on the loopback device, and I can mix this here as well.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah. So
Yep. The
and
loop
then
back is really
it's-
nice to have.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, then I have some first signal processing, like padding the signals I get from the rack spaces. When I want to build a stereo sum, I have a digital gain for the Forte because there's no real gain knob on the Scarlett. I have an auxiliary gain for the same reason for the aux input. I put here just a channel strip in to have some basic tone controls, a little bit of compression for the aux input. And then I have the first 2 limiters here, just to avoid any problems coming from the analog inputs. And then it's a classical, it's a 16-channel mixer here, mixing all the things together in 4 output buses. So I have a main output bus A, so which is typically my piano. I have a main output bus B, which is typically organs or synths or strings or something like this, so that the front of house engineer can twiddle a little bit about the balance of the instruments if it's not perfectly from me. So he gets a little bit of control and supports me.
Can you talk a little bit about the controls inside the audio mixer?
Yes.
Because what I'm noticing is, you've got outputs coming out of 1 and 2 and then out of uh, 13 and 14.
Yes.
So that's pretty special because that means you have some routing going on inside the mixer. Is that correct?
This is not inside the mixer, this is for sound check here, this 13, 14 here.
I mean,
Um,
at the bottom of the
oh.
audio mixer where you are routing which channels.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, so as I see, this is bypassed at the moment.
Yep.
I'm just going out into the physical outputs of the Scarlett. So I have 4 channels, 2 stereo sums, that's all.
Yep. Yep.
So just in case I need it, I could equalize this also a little bit. I have a level meter for rehearsals. I have not can open this when we are in the rec view.
Yep.
And then it goes straight out. That's all. So that's the main audio processing.
Got it. And then you've got a lot of MIDI happening.
Yeah, that's not so that much. So that's just convenient for some helping functions, like I want to monitor the MIDI input from the upper board, just for control, so I don't need it to attach it to every rack space. I have the output control for my band helper configuration. That's something for later on. So when I change a song in gigperformer, that band helper follows gigperformer. I go the other way around for some reasons. And yeah, I have a special scriptlet block here to fix some going wild MIDI controllers on the Kurzweil Forte SA, let's say it this way.
Yep.
So I have a reset button where I can send in a scriptlet a bunch of control commands to reset some controllers inside the Kurzweil.
Got it.
If they got hung up inside the Kurzweil, that's just a helper. And a little scriptlet about metronome control. We see this in the panel view.
Okay, awesome.
So, okay, this is a little bit small.
I can make it a bit bigger on my end.
Yes, maybe, so we don't need a side.
Yeah, this is, I think this is better. Go.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Go for it.
So I have the remote controls for band helper. So I've mapped 2 buttons on the Arturia to switch to the previous or to the next songs. I have this reset button for the Forte SE, for the Kurzweil. I have a comment log where I can attach comments if I change something. Then I have 2 buttons on the Arturia to bring gigperformer to the front or to bring a mixer UI to the front. So I used a Soundcraft mixer in the past, so I can have the surface directly on the screen just by pressing a button on the Arturia.
Yep, that's really nice. And did you? So that's outside of gigperformer.
That's outside of gigperformer, but the interface is gigperformer.
So are you doing that via scripting, or is that system actions or something else?
It's a mixture.
Okay.
So a lot of functions you can do by internal functions from the system actions. A few things I have to use terminal scripts or Apple scripts, which I use to invoke functions like this.
Yep.
So just to get it complete, I also can switch on or switch off this global rec space in my song view or in my rec view to get some more space on the screen.
Yep.
We have, where are they? I moved them, so. So this was also changing over the time.
Yep, of course.
Then I have global metronome function where we have seen the scriptlet, so I can start a metronome from also from the Arturia, change the speed and volume, and then we start with the mixing section. So I can adjust the input level from the Forte. I can see the levels which are coming from my rec spaces, so what's coming from my piano and what's going out on the on the second bus.
Yep.
It's still in, I don't use it anymore. So I have for background music playlists which I can start from gigperformer. enable the output at all, mix it, or skip songs.
Yep.
So this was quite convenient. So the set was over, just starting background music, turn the fader up, and go away.
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
convenient. I think we just had Alex Faust on last week, and he had a similar
Mhm.
similar
Yeah.
function. Okay, so you've got your music playback there, and then what's going on
Yeah.
next?
Then we have this auxiliary input when I have on phone or on Bluetooth transmitter for the other band members, just to provide something to the rehearsal PA. And then I have my master section. So I have an equalizer I can open from here. So nothing happening. So then I removed it already. I can open the level controls,
Nice.
which we have seen in the global regs, just to have them to balance my levels.
Mm-hmm.
I can attach to the limiter. Yeah, I put it in, but I don't use it currently. I could record all the inputs and outputs with the internal gigperformer functions.
Yep.
Also quite convenient.
Yep.
And then I have my 4 levels for the main output and one last slider, just controlling the master global trim.
Wow.
That's all.
Wow. And so that actually carries a ton of weight. Or you
This carries a ton
introduced
of
it.
weight.
You
Yeah.
said it's the backbone, and you were serious. It is
Yes.
the backbone. It's the control
Yes, this
center.
is definitely the back. Yes, that's the control center. If I ever change a sound card, if I ever change some global functions, this is the rack space where to look first and where to fix problems.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a little bit ahead of the LED function with the Arturia.
Mm-hmm.
This is also some. Why do I have it? There's one button here which shows me up when starting gigperformer. I implemented a function. So when gigperformer starts, it scans through all the rack spaces, and one of the side shows is then that all my LEDs are flickering because every rack space wants to set up the LEDs on the Arturia.
Ah.
So I can avoid this with a little state machine here. Okay, we are in the startup phase. Don't use the script. And then enable this after the gig has completely loaded.
Ha. That is
A
interesting.
lot of small things, or how to call a background track on music. There's a little bit of Apple script. I think I have all documented, and I have also a lot of these things already shown in the community. I think I can add later on in the comment sections of this stream
Yes.
the links and provide it to get directly to it. So
Yes. Yeah,
this
that'd be
makes it
awesome.
easier because this is much way too much stuff to run through at the moment.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The writing of all of the different processes
Yes.
that you've taken is very good.
Yes.
Highly recommend folks who are watching check it out. Okay, so you've showed us how everything connects. Now, what's happening in your local rack spaces?
So in my local rack spaces, let's go to the rack spaces just to complete the picture. So this takes. I'm currently at predictive loading. So I have this soundcheck rack space. I don't use this because otherwise we have now test tones here. So one of the first things I can do is if I set up a scene or a gig or a rehearsal room, I can run through the channels. Is the wiring correct? Is my sound card set up right? What's the level on the mixing console? This makes things for me easier, just technically. And then, I have some basic rack specs, rack spaces, rack specs, just some pianos or something like this. They are quite ugly. It's just basic functions. So if I need a piano, I need a volume control. So in this case, we have here the letters A and B, which are the letters on the Kurzweil. This is already transferred. I have some controllers like the expression to bring in the string volume. I do a patch trim in every rack space I do.
Okay.
So just to have the overall volume of a rack space leveled
Okay.
against each other. And this is already something coming out of the Arturia lathes, the way I use them. So I have some patterns. I can just check if they are working. They are working. So if you look at the screen with the Arturia, I just can change the colors.
Yep, I
for
got it.
static thing.
Oh, cool.
Which I use to navigate, and I can set this up with different levels in different variations in the rack space.
Aha.
We come to this in a minute.
Yes. Well,
um,
I have to just point out variations are so
mhm.
powerful just for this very reason.
Yes,
A widget can do anything, and these variations
yes,
can power. Your scripts are quite robust, and it's still being powered by the simplest fundamental
yes,
concept in Gig Performer. I love that.
exactly.
Okay, keep going.
Now, so this is one of the basic patches. Then, of course, I have, depending on the songs, that's just a selection of what I'm playing or what I've played in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I provide 1 or 2 rack spaces per song. Ideally, 1 rack space with variations
Mm-hmm.
to yeah, get better loading times and to keep things compact. That's one of my main approaches, to keep everything as simple as possible, as compact as possible. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to avoid any disturbances, and that's how it goes. And here, for example, the LED controls are not hidden in other rack spaces. If they get fuller, I hide them, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take, for example, I have one of these older ones here, this Davies on the Road thing. So you can see, of course, some kind like a Hammond. So I
Mm-hmm.
used the VB3, I think, here.
Okay.
Um, it's quite full, and I think if we go into edit mode, there will pop up some additional. No, in this case, not. This is an older one. I have done this here with pads, where I can change the color depending on what instruments I play. So
Mm.
I know every time from a visual feedback, okay, I'm in this part of the song, or my switch has followed my foot. Let's say it this
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And or even some minor things like the just and down, like the Leslie control. I do it by aftertouch, for example, so I can press a little harder on the organ keys, and in this case I use the MIDI LED here as an indicator. Leslie is slow, Leslie is fast. Just to have a visual feedback as well, and not to turn my head around and every time look at my computer, which is typically standing left of me.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes. Getting the visual feedback is key.
yeah, visual feedback is key for me. There's nothing more annoying. So if there's no good monitor situations, which can happen
Mm-hmm.
on some scenes, some locations, then at least you want to have feedback that you are prepared before you press a key. Everything is set up right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then let's take this one here. Okay, I think we have to go to the set list because there I've set it up. This song. It's already loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So I structure then a song into different parts. So if I begin the main song, I can step through the different song parts. So the solo starts, then there's a B3 edit, and as I press the button on the bottom, you can see I've switched one variation further. The LEDs light up,
It's
the red
so
ones.
nice. Yep.
It's good to see, and so I go for. I'm with, again in the main page. I've added a piano. The green line lights up, and I can do this as I like it. So
Yep.
on other songs, so if I do split points, that's why I added this rotary control. So I can also split then a line and say, okay, green left 1 and 2 LEDs is an organ or is a brass section, and yellow is then a string section. So I can also differentiate between split zones or a complete layer which is above everything else.
Yep. The visual feedback is so cool. The
Yeah,
splitting and layering concept is so
yes,
helpful.
definitely.
It's really really awesome. So you have a lot of songs in here. Can you talk a
So this is,
good
yeah,
good? I was
go
going
ahead.
to ask you to talk a little bit about preparation. I know
Yes.
you're spending some time
Mhm.
using Songmaster, and Songmaster is
Yeah.
actually one of our partners. So can you talk a little bit about how and why you're using Songmaster, and also how you're using Gig Performer to interface with Songmaster?
Yes. So let's go to the past. So what did we do in the past? So we had these compact cassettes,
Yep.
which have always been out of tune because the turntable where we had the recording from was out of tune to the instrument.
Yep.
So this was clearly not the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, we have YouTube, we have MP3s and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
We also have platforms like Ultimate Guitar providing chords and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
But there are still situations when you learn a new song where you want to go deeper. So we need to pitch or try to transpose. And yeah, so this was also a new world the last years. I think I started as everybody just with an MP3 player or Apple Music, just providing background tracks. Then later on, what was the tool? AnyTune, which already had pitch control and a little bit of speed control. And then out of the sudden there was Songmaster Pro. And this was fun. So,
And what does Songmaster Pro give you the ability to do that you
yeah,
weren't able to do in AnyTune or Apple Music?
so Songmaster Pro was the first app with inbuilt channel separation. So I could split up, or what's the right English word here? I could split up a song into the key ingredients. So I
Yep.
can isolate the vocals, I can isolate piano, guitar, drums, bass, do my own mix, and yeah, can speed up, speed down. And even more interesting, I can also get the structure of a song. I think I just switch over for the moment.
Yeah,
By,
absolutely.
by the way, I'm using a small nano control for this, only for rehearsal, also just to switch between the different layers. So just to
That's
press
nice.
of a button and I'm in Songmaster already.
That's nice.
So just taking something which I have structured. One moment.
No, you're
What
fine.
do I have? Which is something like this. No, that's not. I think I'm in the wrong list. Ah, this one.
Perfect.
Yeah. So what you can do, you start with a typical wave structure, and Songmaster detects the beat and
Okay.
therefore provides a bar structure. Already makes some suggestions. Okay, this is in part A, part B, part C, and so you can start to learn the song by just structuring it. This is intro, this is a verse, this is a pre-chorus, this is a
Yep.
chorus, and run through the song. It also makes some sorry, suggestions for the chords
Yep.
and for the voicings, and so you can easily and quite fast learn a song. This is great.
Yep.
You can also do like in any DAW repetition blocks and cycle through this. And later on, you can also, I don't do this, but you can make notes and have some kind of a lead sheet. Okay,
Yep.
this is intro,
And
this
this
is
is all
verse.
just like Songmaster just made all of that.
Yes. Yeah, with some rework, of course.
Yeah.
But the basic structure is all given. And if you want to dive deeper, then you go. This is quite fast, by the way. You say, okay, I want to have the tracks by itself, so I go into the separation. Where is it?
Yeah, the mixer. Yeah.
Generate the stems. And I can select, okay, I want to have drum, bass, the rest vocals, piano, guitar, and it just calculates it down and provides me the different tracks like I'm in a DAW.
Yep.
And I can use this as some kind of background track and do my private rehearsal. And if it's finished,
And you're
I also can.
go ahead.
Yes.
Finish that thought.
Then I could then I can go deeper and also go in something I don't hear as well. There's a very good pitch detection in to see, okay, what is the key I am missing or what is the exact note. And this is really great. There was no other program providing this.
Yep.
Besides Logic or Cubase, but then you have to go to the completely different ecosystem. And you can feed any song into this. So you don't need a database, you just need folders, throwing MP3s, WAV files, M4As and stuff like this in, and it's just working.
Yep. When I teach piano lessons, I always have on my computer gigperformer and Songmaster for all of the reasons that you're listing out. You know, it's just a really
Yeah.
helpful tool to see pitches. And
Yeah.
okay, so this came up here, and then you can now
Yes.
isolate stuff, right?
Now I can isolate stuff. I don't use this. Have basically a piano which I can use, an inbuilt one. So if I don't use gigperformer at all, and everything is remote controllable. I started with the internal remote control, just trying to map the nano control to Songmaster. But as always, this is something which is a bit limited.
Yep.
I talked to John about this. He improved some stuff, but I still went back and did a gig performer implementation.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
just
what did you
so,
do inside of Gig
so,
Performer?
so I just opened another instance.
Okay.
This is quite simple. There's nothing in the wiring, I think. No, it's completely empty.
Nice. Nice.
This is just a MIDI control. So
Wow.
I just set up some widgets, some buttons, some informations, map them to the nano control. Play button, stop button, skip section, go one bar ahead, go one bar back. And I can remote control this. So this translates from MIDI to OSC commands.
Oh, cool.
And Songmaster receives these OSCs, and I can do everything just by pressing buttons and moving sliders on my nano control. So I have this volume control here. I can play pause.
Yep.
Music starts. I can go bars. I can see even if I want which section I am in here. And also, again, it's all about screen control. Just bring my windows up to front with a push of a button.
Yep.
So this is essential for me.
Yep.
And this is completely independent. This is an own instance of Gig Performer. Gig Performer can handle multiple instances. So in the rehearsal room, I just saw this instance. On the gig, I don't need it. I just leave it off. I leave the nano control at home.
Yep. Yep. And all of this is made possible because both Gig Performer and Songmaster support OSC messaging.
Yes.
And if it was just MIDI mapping, Gig Performer would have no way to get that song information. In the rack space you shared,
Exactly.
it was pulling the verses, it was pulling all the songs. So you're actually able to
Yes.
get any of the feedback that you want on
Yes.
the Gig Performer screen.
Yes, definitely.
It's really cool. That's really cool. So this is for rehearsal. I think it's a great
This
tool.
is exactly a small sideshow. Back to Gig Performer by the push of a button.
Steve, I love it. Now, but I want to make sure we have time to talk about all of the amazing stuff you did with the Arturia keyboard. But have we missed other stuff inside of the Gig Performer setup here?
So what's really great, and I love it once it was introduced, was the chord maker, for example.
Yes, absolutely.
This is helpful because if you are a keyboard player like me and not remembering all chords all the time, or having all hands full to play something different with the right hand and the left hand, so you can prepare some small chord sequences, for example in chord maker, and then just play it. And you have just with single notes a complete string section. That's great.
Can you show what the chord maker looks like?
Yeah, let's go into this. Just need to find the right one, this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So chord maker typically translates and maps incoming MIDI notes to output notes. So you can just mute for the moment the output. Okay, I still can hear it. You should not hear it at the moment, or quite softer.
Yeah, it's softer. It's good. It's good.
You see this G being pressed.
Yep.
And I can map, these green keys as part of a chord to this, and then I can evolve progressions. So as I play here, you see how the chords are built.
Yes. It's so nice. And I assume you're doing that because you have to do stuff with your other hands.
Yes,
other hand.
Exactly.
Singular.
So this makes with the right hand or with the left.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so this makes things easier.
Yep.
Or for example, brass sections like Stevie Wonder, or I think I made a sample for the community with this brass section of Valerie. So where you have 4 chord notes with sharp 5, flat 7 and stuff like this. And just remembering this chord, was it this way or this way? So you just put it in and you fire them and everything is done. Makes things much more easier. You need you can concentrate on different things within the band context.
Yep, not to mention that you oftentimes run out of fingers. There's a great video on our channel that Brody Stewart did, and he talks about using the chord maker to map non-diatonic notes, so he can play extra passages outside of the key and have them
Yeah.
trigger the diatonic notes. You can, do so much cool stuff with it. It's very, very powerful. Okay, this is the Valerie thing you're talking about.
Yes, there I combined, for example, the LEDs pads and the chord maker, because sometimes you also have to remember, okay, how did I map this on the keyboard?
Right.
Where is which chord? And so I had a different approach here and said, okay, I have 4 rows here and I do just sequences. I color them, so you can see this
Yep.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
So I have this first sequence, which are then complete progressions, and then the next tune. Makes things much more easier, and I don't need to remember, okay, which key was it, where is it placed on the upper keyboard, and
Yes.
makes things easier.
That is really clever. That is really clever. And
Yeah,
to
and
some
then
level, you really are, once you get into the realm of doing keyboard sounds,
yeah,
you're not just playing, you're also triggering stuff. It's almost
yes,
like your ideas become less attached to specific keys and more attached to specific implementation.
yes. So for example, a siren or something like this, so you trigger a one-shot note on a sampler, or yeah, I think we played Born to Be Wild with this Harley at the beginning or something
Yep.
like this. You just shoot it, and you don't want to remember which key was it on the board. So
Yep.
I just take one of the pads here, give it a light, and I know exactly, okay, a green light, I start it, a red light, I stop it,
Yep.
for example.
Yep. That's really awesome. I love that. I
Yeah.
also want to point out, we see people come on with varying degrees of complexity in their
Yeah.
panels. But really, your panel design, you just need to put on whatever you need to get it to work and leave
Yes.
it. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece where you're spending a
No.
lot of time designing them. It's actually it's some people really like to have them look pretty, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the widgets give Gig Performer
Yeah.
more power to
Yeah.
alter the sounds inside of your VSTs. And to me at least, and many people would disagree with me, to me at least, that's where the power is. It's not so much like how does the panel look, it's what can Gig Performer do with these widgets that then
Yes.
produce the sound you're going for.
Just the basic structure, only the minimum and needed things are on this panel. So this is a more complex one.
Yep. Yep.
It has some more knobs for tone control, for example, and also reflecting. I try to do the same colors in my panels, like on the Arturia, for example. So this one-shot trigger here of a siren is also the only yellow button at the moment here.
Yep.
So I know exactly where to put my finger on if I need it.
Yep. Yep. That is really cool. That is really cool. So you did a massive customization.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what you did and why, and what abilities have come with it? and I'll say up front before you even start talking, this is thoroughly documented,
Yeah.
and folks can read
Yes.
about it. But while we have you
Definitely.
here, please
Yeah.
talk to us about what's going on with this, what you've done here.
What's going on? So I pick up ideas, I see ideas, I evolve them. So for example, all this Arturia light stuff, this was not completely done by me. So we had some concepts already in the community. I found some more accurate documents about the SysX documentation, for example, and brought it up together and gave it back this way. And talking about Gig Performer in general, where do we start? Where do we end? It's the same thing about. So you need to understand the basic concepts. What are widgets? Why not routing MIDI in different channels directly to a plugin? Why always have this host automation in between? If you have understood this concept, then you can fill in the missing parts or your ideas with scripting or with layering, with hidden buttons or stuff like this. There is so much you can do. So for me, Gig Performer is something like a Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
For MIDI or for OSC. And yeah, just try it. Of
Yes.
course, there are I had this 20 years ago when I did Windows programming. So in Windows you can solve a problem in 5 ways or in 6 ways, and the seventh one would be the perfect solution. But there are also the other way around, things you should not do.
Yes.
And this is I see this on the community all few weeks or months. So how do I switch my layers? Why do I get stuck nodes when I bypass a plugin or when I just disable MIDI in? So there are concepts
Right.
or best practices,
Hmm.
uh, not to bypass or to switch off a mixer or a MIDI input, just to filter out, for example, node on effects with some other trade-offs. Then you take care about node off noises like from a piano or from an organ with key clicks. But it's also well documented in the community. So the first and ever point to start is joining the community at the end of the day,
Yep.
asking your questions. There are no stupid questions. There are a
Yep.
lot of people there with broad knowledge, which are willing to support. And yeah, I do the same because I got a lot of input in the first weeks and months. And yeah,
Yep.
so
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's quite easy to get in. And of course, if you have a programming background for doing some things in scripts which you are maybe not so familiar with, even that. So just pick a gig, look inside, learn from it, adapt, and yeah, evaluate it, and then do your own stuff with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for folks who are watching right now, I'm going to pull a couple more questions out of you, Alex, because I've got a few.
Yeah,
But for folks who are watching, if you have questions that you want
yes.
Alex to answer live, anything from his move to hardware to hybrid to software to gig performer to scripting to whatever it is, if you've got questions that you want him to answer while we're on the stream, please put them in the chat and I will have him answer in real
Yes.
time. Can you talk a little bit more, which I may be sentencing you to move your phone around? Can you talk a little bit about the visual feedback on the screens that have been implemented with your scripting for the Arturia?
Sorry, didn't get this one.
So it's okay. Can you talk about like
Uh,
you set up in your script, you have the like knob will move different things,
okay.
and can you talk a bit about that? Because I think people will be really interested to see.
Yeah. So let's see where we have this. So just a small, simple one at the moment. So I made some scriptlets. So the technique behind is using MIDI scriptlets.
Okay.
And feeding the output of these scriptlets to the MIDI out of the keylab, so it needs to go out of the Mac. And so I have two scriptlets. One is for the standard LED controls, and one is for the multicolor controls. And the beauty of scriptlets is that you can also have some simple user interface here. I hope you can see this
Yep.
a little
Perfect.
bit. So I just made yeah, 16 faders where I can select the color and the behavior of it. So if I now move the fader, you
Yep,
can see
I
it
can
on,
see
on
both
the click.
happening there.
So the color changes immediately.
Yep.
Then I can influence and say, okay, I want just to set it, and I want it to be reset once a pad is pressed, because the Arturia resets the color to this blue background color always. So I need to re-trigger this once a key press is detected. And yeah, just to go deeper. Okay, now we're gonna on the really dark side. GP script is a well-structured language. It reminds me a little bit of Pascal in the 80s and 90s. You can have a lot of code. This is a structured language. It's an interpreter language as far as I understood. It's well documented. That's also very important. So there's always, with every release of Gig Performer, an updated documentations, what you can do, what you not can do. And of course, we have the developers
Yes.
among us, where you can ask in the community as well.
Yes.
So, and anybody asking a question about scripting will get some answer from any direction and an idea how to proceed or how to make a solution. And you can see this is not much. These are 124 lines of code just for setting a color of 16 pads.
Yep. Yep.
And then what you have to do from the technical side inside Gig Performer, this is just the logic, how to address a slider to a pet color LED.
Mm-hmm.
You have to map this widget to the scriptlet to a pet,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all.
Yep. Got it. Yep. That's really, really cool. And are you also getting your song names to display on your keyboard?
Um, this is unfortunately not possible with this version of the Arturia.
Ah.
So to have, yeah, this I was long trying it, and so I discovered there's also a script available in the community,
Mm-hmm.
which documents and which can change
Mm-hmm.
the panel of the Arturia.
Mm-hmm.
But this only works if the Arturia is in the analog mode,
Got it.
the analog lab mode. Otherwise, the display just ignores incoming sysx messages. And I
Interesting.
need a user mode to have all the other functionality I do and do my own controllers. So
Got
this is
it.
unfortunately not working. So I left
Got it.
this away.
Got it.
Which reminds me, I forgot one device which is upstairs. There's a different solution upcoming.
Okay. Great.
um, I, uh, I think I already had a sneak preview in the community. There is this Hungarian Kickstarter project from Intec,
Mm-hmm.
which do these small MIDI controller blocks, which you can magnetically connect to side by side, which have sliders. And there's also now a display version available, which could be used as an independent controller just to see your song names and have an additional device independent from the boards you have.
Yep.
Also possible.
Yep.
You see, tons of possibilities.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is, that's sort of like the cool thing about Gig Performer, and I do
Mhm.
think something that
Yeah.
sometimes people are like, "Oh my goodness, what do I do?" Because it is a Swiss Army knife. You
Mhm.
can really do
Yes.
whatever you can dream up. And if you can come up in your mind with what you want to,
Yeah.
you know, to do, a lot of it can do. I mean, you mentioned, and we didn't dive deep into this, but you mentioned launching
Mhm.
Apple scripts,
Yeah.
which, I don't know why you would have a need for this, but it does very truly mean that if you wanted to just control your Mac from Gig Performer, um, you could you could do that. You could control all of your other programs
Ah,
from. Oh, there it is.
these are quite simple things. So you just we have it here. I
Mm-hmm.
hope it's big enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. So GP script already supports shell calls.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put in your terminal command or your Apple script. For example, open the recording folder. That's just a simple terminal command, one line,
Mm-hmm.
and map it to a widget. And if you press the right button, it will open the recording folder. I hope so. It's still working. I think this was this button here. And okay, it opens on the different screen at the moment.
That's okay.
Yeah, because I'm a multiple screen setup here.
Yep.
The Finder pops up and shows me already the right directory where the recordings are in. And
Yep.
so I can do other things as well. For example, telling Apple Music to play playlist number 3 or background music 5 or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
There are tons of possibilities.
Yep.
Or also, um, I don't start Gig Performer by the launch control anymore, so I use shortcuts or Kurzbefehle in German,
Mm-hmm.
where I have a bunch of commands where I can start a dedicated Gig Performer instance, where I can start Songmaster,
Ah.
clean all the background tasks, so shut down OneDrive, my synchronization to my NAS server, stuff like this.
Okay.
This is all surrounding stuff, or here
That's very cool.
amphetamine for example, just to avoid the screen saver,
Mm-hmm.
not to turn it off, and this reacts only if a Gig Performer instance is open, so you can do so much things.
Wow.
You just need to evaluate it and do it.
Yes. Wow, that is really cool.
Mhm.
Well, Alex, if folks are
Mhm.
in your area and want to hear you
Yeah.
play, how do they do that? You guys playing sometime soon?
Not that much at the moment.
Okay.
So my current project is Ella and the Jam Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Hannover region, Celle region.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I will post updates if we play somewhere. Link in my Instagram and Facebook profile.
Awesome.
They are also linked already or in the description of this stream.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would be happy to see some faces
Yeah.
out here of this community in one of the next gigs. You're
Ab-
welcome.
Absolutely. I love that. And somebody wrote in who seems to know about your power cable debacle. All is good as long as you always have a second power cord on stage.
I know this is Peter. This is a running gag from one of my first student bands.
Yes.
Because I forgot in the rehearsals the Kaltgerätekabel, yeah. Gell, Peter?
Oh gosh, I love it. Well, Alex, I feel like I learned a ton from just the way that you think
Yeah.
about everything. So thank you so much for sharing. Your Triple B on
Yes.
the forum. So folks, if
Yes.
you're on the forum, you want to say hello to Alex. That is his username, and we'll be back next
Yes.
week with Blue Weaver. And if you don't know who Blue Weaver is, do type his name into Google, and then come back next week at 11:30 when he'll be joining us. Alex, thank you so much. Friends, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you all next week. See you, Alex.
Okay. Bye.